Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the force and the power to live a better. Just know that love and joy and peace is one in all of the same space. That you were chosen just like God. Your energy. That's right. Only you can make the change. Shine your head at you. Shine so bright. From darkness to light. Hey, hey, hey. From darkness to light. Yeah. And you'll find your way out. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it won't seem way out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The power of God will flow through you from way out.
Welcome. This is Alchemizing Energy Peace. Why S Millennial? Can you come up here? Because this is going to be interesting. I want you to come up here because I'm gonna need you to come and give your opinion. But I'm gonna let you like be in the audience for a second. But you got to come up here because this is crazy. So Jake Lang, you know, he leaves the Carmelo Anthony situation. You know, threatening the jurors. I don't even know how he got out of jail. $1 million bond. Somehow he got out of prison or jail. $1 million bond, right? To then go to the BET Awards and harass more people. Now, this guy has gotten out of jail. So this guy has a get out of jail free card. I mean, he went to Chud the Bill. He's been in jail more times than all the civil rights leaders, everybody. You know, back in the civil rights era, people were going to jail during Woodstock when they were fighting civil rights and fighting against the war and all right. I mean, this guy has been in jail combined more than Antifa, and he keep getting out and doing more bullshit. How this guy's an agent? I'm sorry, I'm convinced that this guy is either an FBI agent or some type of an agent. How is he able to continue to keep getting out of jail? I thought initially Chud the Builder was FBI or some kind of a agent of the CIA, but there's something to the fact that this guy continues. Okay, he had $1 million bond only like 2 weeks ago. How does he get out? And listen, guys, he had more of an army. After the Carmelo Anthony trial, he has more people joining with him. How is this possible? How is it possible that he continues to be able to get out of jail? Honey, he has more get out of jail free cards than the game of Monopoly. So let's hear what happened. Let's go.
Guys, we're here on the ground at the BET Awards. Jake Lang is here. He's made an appearance with a truck. Oh, and Richard.
This guy has a truck, like a Hummer. Who is funding this guy? They say he's here with a truck. Look at this truck. Who in LA? Because he goes through, I don't know where he's from, what state he's from, but how did he get a black truck in LA, blacked out, and then all these people on the back end of the truck? I mean, he done just left jail in Dallas, in Collin County for like doing death threats against the jurors. Who is funding Jake Lang? I think that's what I should have like named this thing. Who is funding? You know what? That's what I'm gonna put up here. I'm gonna say this. Who is funding Jake Lang? Who is behind? Who behind him? Who is giving him the money? How is this possible to leave jail and then create more mayhem? You know what I'm saying? This is becoming like a Batman like Batman and Robin. Like, okay, he's a vigilante. He leaves and then he gets more mayhem everywhere he goes. And people just keep bailing him out and bailing him out. The only one that ain't got bailed out is Chud the Builder. I guess his time was up, honey. They used him for as far as they could, and honey, they not letting him go. He did that bullshit in the wrong place in the South, in Tennessee, and they said, honey, you not getting out. But honey, this guy is able to just get kept let out. Somehow he has a truck, and now he is parading around at the BET Awards. Now the BET Awards ain't did nothing to nobody. They out there talking about artists and giving awards. What is the problem, sir? Let's go.
Oh, and Richard.
Public sidewalk. Put the blacks back in church. Get them out of the trap house. You guys are disgusting culture.
You guys are a disgusting church culture. Put the blacks back in church. Like, what are we doing? Like, what is happening? Like, who keep letting this mother effer out?
Celebrating home invasion, celebrating armed robbery. The BET Awards is celebrating degeneracy. It looks like a bunch of prostitutes are dressed up in there.
See you guys, that's what it is.
Fix your culture.
So he's out there at the BET Awards. He has a megaphone, whatever, and he's up there just talking mess. I mean, honey, we thought the Hebrew Israelites on the corner was bad, but this guy is just yelling out all type of wild stuff. Maybe the Hebrew Israelites need to come to the BET Awards, and then they could like have a shout out match between him and Jake, because this is crazy, bro.
That's how you were raised. Because your parents failed you. Your parents.
Your mama failed you. His mother failed him. What do you mean?
Do not assault us. We know that's your second nature. How you've been raised.
A few moments later.
Okay, throwing stuff at me. What are you doing? Get off me. Don't touch me.
Isn't this considered to be inciting a riot? Isn't that a arrestable defense? I mean, and isn't he still like, okay, whenever you get out of jail for one thing and you go somewhere and do the same thing, isn't it a violation of whatever you got released on, your bond? First of all, whenever you get a bond from a state, don't you have to stay in that state? I mean, what is going on? Why is he able to travel after he gets a bond in a state? He got arrested in New Jersey. He got arrested in Tennessee. He got arrested in Collin County. I mean, up to $1 million bond. Now he is in Los Angeles or wherever the hell they got the BET Awards at, and he is inciting riotous behavior. What is going on with our court system that they are not able to get a control of this guy? I mean, maybe they want like people to like just start to get the full like just going in. Maybe I don't know if this guy is an agent provocateur. I mean, I know he is. He's an agent provocateur. Let's go.
Jake Lang, far-right conservative Jake Lang, went to the BET Awards. He looked around and found out. What up, my people? Hard body, hard spirit. Check this. Jake Lang He's coming in the vein. He's coming in the footsteps of or behind the back of a Chud the Builder, where he's gonna go out and where he knows black people will be, obviously the BET Awards, just like a Chud the Builder, who is in jail right now for doing exactly what this idiot just did. And antagonize people that they don't know, they don't have nothing to do with, just random people antagonizing them, right? And then they want to say black people, they're so violent and they do this and do that, but you're antagonizing us. They want somebody to hit them and attack them so they can go viral, so they can get views, right? They want this to happen. That's why they're antagonizing, because they want somebody to respond with violence. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as he got right up in, he came.
You know, I think it's weird. You know, I gotta stop it right there because they were expecting us to come out during the ICE situation, right? And black folks said, "Okay, I'm not getting involved with that. They ain't got nothing to do with us." So it seemed like they had to put the pressure on. They had to make more people come out with more antagonizing things because we were not really responding to all this hatred and things like this. When ICE was being deployed and stuff like that, we were not like jumping down on the bandwagon and getting involved with that. So they needed to get like two. They started off with Chud, then they got Jake. They had to create like there's no way we can't get these people to like really start wilding out. Listen, if you ever are in a place where this guy is, please do not respond to him. The best response is silence.
Came right to the BET Awards and ran right back out, getting kicked and punched on and everything, as he should. As he should. There's a saying, right? That this saying, when I was young, this saying was around before I was even born. Don't start nothing and there won't be nothing. If you start a conflict, if you start a chain of events that leads to violence, guess whose fault that is? In my opinion, that's your fault.
But I think that this is exactly what they want us to do. That's exactly what they want us to do. They want to incite us to get the fucking up this guy, and the next thing you know, they get to send like the National Guard in. And listen, please do not respond. Listen, this guy, okay, they're guising it under freedom of speech, guys. They're using their so-called freedom of speech to then incite and get people emotionally charged to then begin to take away more rights and let something really terrible happen. That is when they're going to enact and like kind of push some kind of agenda. Because there's no way that one person gets put away. Chud the Builder's locked up. This guy gets locked up on $1 million bond in Collin County for terroristic threats. They let him out, and he gets to like get a Jeep and more and take and more stuff as LED van and go to the BET Awards to incite more chaos. Where is he getting his money from? Who is funding this?
Antagonizing people, disrespecting people, calling people out their names, purposely being aggressive and violent with your words, then you ask for that violence to come your way. I don't want to hear, we got the first, you could just say whatever you want. And I don't want to hear none of that. That's man's law. This is God's law. You can't just go up to anybody and say anything and expect them not to do, just to be a monk and not do it.
I do not agree with that. He can say whatever the hell he wants. We need to just let him be. Because this is a psyop. This guy is going purposely to places that he knows is going to incite. He's going to locations that normally this is not a place to protest at the BET Awards. Since when do protests happen at an award show? So if we get the Hebrew Israelites to show up at the Country Music Awards, are they going to be able to like sit up there and do that?
Turn the other cheek. No, we're not doing that. And now I seen a sign. There's a sign in the video that says black parents are failures. Right. Meanwhile, Jake Lang, his parents raised somebody that really he really did treason. He's a treason. He's a terrorist. He attacked his own government building. That's what he did. Now, Jake, if y'all don't know Jake Lang, he was a part of the whole January 6th riots on the Capitol.
And I'm gonna tell you what. Now, I do have an interview coming up with a guy that was around during that J6 event. I have an actual interview coming up with a guy that is going to be able to talk about what and show his videos or whatever. So we do have a J6er coming up. He wasn't necessarily J6 like in whatever, but he was there. And we're gonna find out what was really going on, because this whole thing, something is happening here. I'm not sure. They want to incite people. And I think that we need to continue to hold fast and hold my mule, honey. Jay-Z is fucking up the Target protest. Don't go to Target and buy his album. Fuck his album. You know what I'm saying? We need to be able to protest and whatever we're going to do in our own way of, like, you know, boycott. Don't get out here and jump out here fight this guy. But they did. Thank God it didn't get too crazy. But that's the point. The point he's trying to make is to go out there and antagonize people. And then when you whoop his ass, then now you acting like a monkey and you acting like a chimp. Meanwhile, isn't it chimp like to like go out there into a damn stethoscope, fucking whatever the hell the damn whatever this shit's called. You know what I'm saying? That is monkey like. Like, you're inciting other people and then saying, look at how they're treating me. That's crazy.
Literally terrorist. And they did it for nothing. It didn't accomplish shit. It didn't accomplish anything. And he went to jail for it. And now I think he got pardoned by Trump, but he did federal time for that. And now he's out, right? I forget when that came up, but not that long ago. Now they're holding up signs that say black parents are failures. I don't see it. Because for one, still in 2026, we got people like Jake Lang, people like a Chud the Builder, who was raised by parents that most likely, now I can't say this for 100% sure, but if this didn't happen, we wouldn't have racism. Like, in 2026, there are still racism, right? Still alive. That shit started 400, 500 years ago. Racism should be dead by now. But because white parents are still teaching and instilling in their children, which that's the failure to me. They're instilling and teaching their children from as soon as they can crawl, whatever, as soon as they can crawl, listen, walk, whatever. They are teaching their kids to hate black people. They are having conversations, and they are having and having dialogue, speaking down on black people. Oh, don't mess with that person because they're black. Don't bring home this person. Don't date that person. Oh, we don't like them people, right? Y'all racists are literally the biggest haters ever, and it's really the dumbest shit I ever heard of. It's not even an intelligent thing to be racist. It really ain't. But y'all still doing it in 2026. So white parents are really the failures, if you really break it down. To hate a group of people, to hate anybody that you don't know, based just off their race, off the color of our skin, makes no complete sense. Last time I checked, me and anybody I know, nobody got to choose. God didn't before it went. I'm gonna ask y'all this: before y'all were born, did God be like, "Hey, what you want? You want to be black or white? What you want to be?" Yeah, let me know.
Honestly, I think that we did get to choose. I mean, well, that's, E5. I'm an E5 priest. I believe that we did choose this life, and everything that happened is preordained. That's a whole nother conversation. But the thing that really, it really bothers me is that this guy is out here and he is able to get out of jail with $1 million bond and then keep doing the same thing. That tells me that this is like either he gets bailed out by pardoned by Trump, and then he's able to then get the money and the funds to just go around everywhere and wreak havoc in every situation. What is going on here? This guy is a government psyop.
Yeah, you get to choose. Which one you want to be. Last time I checked, that ain't never happened in the history of ever. Never happened, right? So to hate somebody off of something nobody gets to choose, absolutely nobody, is beyond retarded to me. Beyond it's so the white parents that are still instilling this in their kids, y'all are the failures, because y'all are the ones that are dividing everybody. All right.
See, here's the thing: is that sometimes, I'm saying, I get this. He's speaking out of hurt, but here's the thing: that the whole thing is really about not even about white parents. It's about the fact that this guy is able to instill and really push this whole thing, get people out here trying to incite racism. Let's go.
Yeah, people are talking about the BET Awards. All right, I've seen like little clips. Drewski looked like he did a good job. He was the host of it, and Drewski looks like he's doing a good job. He did a good job hosting, and that's a good play. You get people who got like a real big internet following. You know, Drewski's he's killing the game right now on the internet. So you know that was a good choice as a host, and some of the clips that I've seen look pretty good so far. But boy, the thing that we got to talk about as far as the BET Awards, the real entertainment about the BET Awards that we got to talk about is suspected white supremacist Jake Lang. Should I even call him suspected at this point? I'll just say suspected. So for those who don't know, suspected white supremacist Jake Lang, who, you know, I had a debate with him on TikTok, on Twitter before. So I washed him with his nonsense. I had a debate with him. But he was one of these J6ers. He was one of these people running up in the Capitol building. He's an alt-right suspected white supremacist who happens to be Jewish, by the way. So he does all of this.
Not he's Jewish. So this nigga, he's Jewish. He's Jewish? That's even more crazier, bro. What are we doing here? He's Jewish?
This anti-black antagonism. He's been showing up down there. He was showing up at the Carmelo Anthony hearing. They threw him in jail a couple of times. He's known for antagonizing black folks. When he was down there in Texas, the police basically protect him. He's one of these, you know, these white supremacists. They go around antagonizing black people, but they have police protecting them. Just like in Texas, when he was down there at the Carmelo Anthony case at the trial, he's out there just spewing gibberish, but he's standing right behind the police, who's basically down there in Texas acting as his police, as his security guards, basically. So that he gets off on doing that, goes around, and he has his fellow travelers within law enforcement protecting him. But here's the thing. So I guess he thought he was going to come out to LA and do that. He decided, ladies and gentlemen, to come out to LA, to bring a couple of his white supremacist buddies with him, and go to the BET Awards to do an anti-black protest. Man, y'all already know how left that went real fast. That went left real fast. What's up, Blacktivist? Are you fantasizing about my lips, bro? I hope you're a woman. This dude I hope you're a woman. This dude is fantasizing about my lips. I hope you are a woman, Blacktivist. I got a picture of me just standing there, just chilling, and this dude is fantasizing about my lips. So, bro, I hope you are a woman, Blacktivist. Now, if you're a punk, I can't do nothing about your fantasies, bro. This dude is up here fantasizing about my lips. Yeah, we don't do that, brother. This ain't that kind of place. I don't knock anybody's lifestyle, brother. I don't knock nobody's lifestyle, but I don't respect dudes. That's not what I do. All right. Yeah, you got to chill out on that, brother. You got to chill out on that. All right. No, I'm just sitting. I ain't doing nothing. I'm just sitting here, literally not even making an expression. So he's fantasizing about my damn lips. Okay. So he got ran up off the block immediately. They got hands and feet put on him. They were getting punched on, slapped on, kicked on. Their signs got taken away from them. They got whooped on for about 2 blocks.
Man, I heard even Kirk Franklin was jumping in on him. You know what I'm saying? I heard Kirk Franklin jumped in. Come on, you even got the black pastors, the Christian pastors jumping in on the fight. Come on now. Let's go.
So, yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. There's no way that dude thought he was going to get that off in LA. And these were the civilians who got on him. The reputables didn't even get to see. If the reputables got to him, you know. So, yeah, the civilians whooped on him. He's online whining now. Oh God, I almost got murdered in Los Angeles. The blacks can't control themselves.
Come on now. Now he's the victim, even though he went down to victimize everybody else with his words. Let's go.
Oh God. See, this is my point. The blacks can't control themselves. I almost got murdered. They hit me with glass.
What is the new thing about like people antagonizing someone and then become the victim? And that is like some, classic, level narcissism. You know what I'm saying? You attack somebody else and now you're the victim? Now, oh my God, look at how these people have treated me. Are you kidding me?
Crying on the internet now. What you think this is, man, LA ain't playing with cats like that, dude. LA don't play like that. LA ain't about to sit here and argue with these folks. Ain't nobody about to go back and forth. Ain't nobody about to be yelling at these people. I told y'all, LA is real active.
Here's the thing: people forget that this is where the LA riot started at. This is where all that Rodney King. These people are not playing with y'all. Watts riot. Are you really gonna go to LA? That's why I think this guy is an agent. Like, what are you doing? Like, somebody has to be funding him. The shit is weird.
That shit gets nipped in the bud immediately. And you know what it is? See, a lot of these dudes, man, they're used to going to these different cities and having the police act as their security guards. Let me explain something. If we have any YT supremacists in here, let me explain. I've been saying that. I keep telling folks, man, LA is active. They don't play like that with no damn YT supremacists at all. And here's the thing, family. Here's the thing. The police ain't gonna help you in LA. YT supremacists, sit down, let me talk to you for a minute. Let me tell you why things go left for you when y'all try that shit in LA. The police ain't gonna help you. You understand? When you come out to LA with that, the police ain't gonna help you. They did when Maxine Waters, they went down to Maxine Waters headquarters and got whooped on because the police told them, hey, we ain't gonna be able to rock with you. Listen, understand the politics of LA, man. There's the ghost of 1965 and 1992 is still hovering over LA. You understand? The LAPD, they don't just police a city, they got to manage a powder keg that has detonated twice in a major way in that damn city. That 1965 Watts riot, that was a problem. They had to create a whole militarized unit. They created SWAT because of the Watts riot. Did y'all know that? The brother, look, they don't tell you that Watts riot put the brakes on. They were putting the beats on LA. That Watts riot was a problem. They really got overwhelmed with that. So they had to create SWAT because of that.
Right. So why does he think he like go into a place like LA and think that he gonna get away with it? Man, this whole thing is crazy. Let's hear what Amazing Luca got to say about this crazy thing.
I've done videos on Jake Lang, and we'll go into a little more detail into who this guy is. But the overall gist of Jake Lang is that he's a racist and a provocateur. So he tried to do that act of racism and being a provocateur at the BET Awards, which means he came to LA. That's strike one. Then he went to downtown LA. That's strike two. Then he went to the BET Awards. That's strike three. And he quickly came to find out that in LA, we don't do that here, bruh. All that goofiness that y'all do in the red states and some of these, these Alabama and Mississippi, that doesn't go well over here in LA. That's not how that works. So he tried to go over there with his signs and a couple of his buddies, trying to antagonize black people, trying to say he had one of the signs that, black parents are failures.
Guess what? You're one of 1,000. One of 1,000 black fathers that are still in the home. Don't scream. Look. This just looks like
and, he went with his microphone and, his megaphone and shouting at people, oh, it was horrible, lean and, Molly and yada, yada, yada. Now, listen. Listen,
Man, the funny part is that there's more white people that be on that lean and moderate than anybody. Man, this guy is delusional. Let's go.
As soon as he arrived was as soon as he got on up out of there, because people were putting hands, feet, elbows on this goofball and his goofy team to where he got in his truck.
Honey, they whooped his ass, okay? He had to take his little truck that whoever gave him a little couple $1,000 to like go ahead and rent. Thank God the truck made it through. I'm surprised they didn't flip that sucker over. You hear me? Let's go.
And they went on off. Now, that's not really a big story to me. What I find actually the real story, the real gem in all of this, because that was expected. Like, don't come to LA with that nonsense, all right? Chud the Builder, there's a reason why he did it where he did it and didn't do it in LA. Chud the Builder wouldn't have lasted, I won't even say a week. He wouldn't have lasted a couple of days. It would have been game over for Chud, just so we're clear. But as I was saying, back to...
Let me also say that you couldn't do the same thing in Detroit. All those like riotous places, Detroit, LA, you don't do that bullshit there. He was able to get away with it in Collin County. You know what I'm saying? But like put that in downtown Dallas or Fort Worth and then Detroit, certain areas, they know where to go with the bullshit. But I think that somebody gave him the wrong intel on going to LA with this bullshit. Honey, he's young. He ain't been around the riots and seeing that people ain't playing with that.
The gem of all this is that Jake Lang is a Jew. And I don't mean that in any type of, derogatory way, but he's a Jewish white man masquerading as a Christian. Am I the only one who finds that a little bit weird? Am I the only one who finds that a little bit strange? We got this man all wrapped up, kissing the wall.
Go back, AIPAC, go back. That's the AIPAC building right there. White Christian men are not going to sit around while you turn our children into a bunch of nigger lovers.
Like he's a Jew that's trying to deny Judaism and now trying to LARP with Christians.
Are Jewish people white? Can someone put a one that are Jewish people considered white? Maybe they are. I don't know. But I thought that they were, I didn't know that they were considered white. I thought they were their own race.
As a Christian, starting a whole bunch of drama. Does anyone see a problem with this? Just no one sees this. Hey, maybe this person is an agent. Maybe this person is a Mossad agent, possibly trying to cause division because he just got out of jail on bond from causing a disruption with the Chud the Builder case. So this is his claim to fame. This is all he's doing. Now, the crazy part on top of that is that he was caught messing around with the little 15-year-old, right? He was asking this 15-year-old, hey, when do you turn 16? And we can still have, conversations. Whenever you turn 16, we can meet up. Now, listen, once that happens, I would think everybody, white men, black men, everybody, all of his followers, which is predominantly, honestly, the ironic part, his followers are very similar to, the white gay Mexican. Nick Fuentes' followers, probably a bunch of brown people, but, bunch of Latinos. But that's besides the point, a bunch of Latinos, and Indians. But I would think that, hey, there would have to be a line. Like you catch this man, trying to mess, sneaky link with a child, bro. What are we talking about?
Come on now, dog.
But yet I did a video on that. Mum's a word. They don't care, bro. They don't care. Went on. So now it gets to a point where like, okay, we have a Jewish man LARPing as a Christian, trying to spread anti-black hatred in the country, right? Because he's done this. He did this with Carmelo Anthony. He's done this. This is like his thing. I'm like, who's funding this man, huh? Netanyahu, are you funding this guy? I just got questions, right? I just got questions. Because for you to have a sign, to have a truck, right? He got a little bulletproof vest, whatever, with the Confederate flag, just goofball stuff. Just goofball stuff. Just straight goofy. Somebody's got to be funding him to fly out to LA, right? To get a truck and get a whole billboard, a little digital screen book. Anyways, like I said, these are all questions that I have. But then it gets to a point where it's like, fam, you talking about, oh, this is degenerate culture and all this. Bruh, black people don't even own BET, to be honest with you. I would protest. I would be right there with him protesting, but we would be protesting for the different thing, okay? Very different things. He's trying to be a provocateur. I'm trying to let black people know, hey, listen, y'all need to stop, shaking hands with the devil. That's what y'all need to stop doing.
And let me just say this right quick, because I don't want to go through. I'm gonna do this real quick because I think it's really interesting. Because it's like, how many times can someone get arrested? If this was what happened to 3 strikes you're out? Jake Lang arrested for destroying an ice sculpture. Okay, right? Hold on. All right, Jake Lang escorted out of anti-ICE protest. Turns chaotic in Minneapolis. This guy. Bond reduced for a far-right influencer accused of threatening to kill Carmelo Anthony. Pardoned by Trump, now accused of threatening Carmelo. This is the type of things that's far right. Okay, arrested in St. Paul. This guy is getting arrested time and time. I think he got arrested in New Jersey before he came to Collin County and got arrested. I mean, how many times can one person get arrested throughout the whole entire country? He's arrested here 2 weeks ago. How many times? This is, until somebody said this something is up here. Look, Jake Lang charged. Look at this.
Details obtained exclusively by CBS Texas. Court documents revealing that a prominent right-wing activist has been charged with making a terroristic threat to allegedly kill Carmelo Anthony. Jake Lang spent 4 years in prison for the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Our JD Miles with the exclusive new details from the Collin County Courthouse.
We reported on this arrest last week, but up until now, it hasn't been revealed what led to it. Jake Lang was out here earlier this month with hundreds of other demonstrators. We learned today from court documents he was reportedly recorded on a live stream video saying that he was going to kill Carmelo Anthony with a gunshot to the head.
Fix your culture. Fix your culture.
These are some of the videos that show right-wing activist Jake Lang confronting supporters of Carmelo Anthony outside the Collin County Courthouse on the first day of testimony in Anthony's murder trial. It was on that day, June 4th, when authorities say Lang was recorded on video saying to someone, he won't be playing basketball. I will be waiting outside this courthouse. Guess what? Headshot done. Authorities say an unidentified.
Guess what? Headshot done. Who is this guy? And how is he able to get out of prison? Listen, all it's going to take, you know what? The only thing he ain't doing is that he's not doing like Chud and having a pistol on him and ready to shoot somebody. That's what he does right. He just have a little bulletproof vest, talks his shit. It's First Amendment. You can freedom of speech, or whatever, the 14th or whatever the hell amendment. You can just say whatever the hell you want to say, and then be an asshole. But at some point, but the thing is that he's developing a following of people that are coming with him to these protests that he's saying whatever, including there is some few token black niggas that's joining him too. That's the part that's even crazy to me. What? There's some niggas up there with him, right along with all the white people. Let's go.
That's what I would say. But BET is not even owned by a black person. It's owned by a white family. So what are you talking about? And the funny part is, you know that he knows this. He knows this, right? But
yeah,
once again, black people want to be they have to be the boogeyman of this country. That's how it works. But I'm like, yo, it's your people who own BET, right? When you look at the entertainment industry, black people aren't the ones who are owning, Warner Brothers. They're not the ones owning Viacom, MTV, or any of these other stations or corporations. That's not what's going. That's not what's going down. It's predominantly your people who own it. So if you want to talk about degeneracy and culture, first off, this ain't even black culture. This is the crazy part. This is like some type of Frankenstein of black culture and Jewish and white, I guess, lack of scruples. But I think that's what it would be. This is what you guys have created to monetize it, right? This is commercialism. This has nothing to do with black. You just slap the label on it because y'all know that we sell.
That's true. That's true.
That's what it boils down to. This is really more of your culture trying to monetize anything and everything, whether it's OnlyFans, whether it's, pornography, there's a litany of things. Y'all don't have a problem with monetizing degeneracy as long as you can monetize it. So it has nothing to do with black culture. But the jokes write themselves. Like I said, this man is a walking joke. That's what he is. He is walking irony. That's the funny part, talking about, black culture and black parents are failures. How the hell, like, it doesn't even make any logical sense. How are you going to the BET Awards talking about black parents are failures? Everyone in there got more money than you. Everyone in there is more successful by every aspect, by every metric of your imagination. But yet somehow black parents are failures. Of all the places to go to say that black parents are failures, right? BET is probably not one of them, right? You maybe should have gone to, I don't know, the prisons or something. You shouted outside the prisons or done a protest outside the prisons or something like that. But going to where successful black people have been integrated into, an anti-black system, for $1 by a system that y'all created, that's not really a flex. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It makes no sense. it makes no sense whatsoever. But like I said, I'm glad he ran up out of there. Of course, he tried to say, I was almost murdered and everything. You know how they do, bro. Little tears. They try to Kyle Rittenhouse, their way into, a not guilty verdict. But I mean, don't pull that here, bro. All right, don't pull that here. Okay, you won't have any chuds of builders over here. Okay, I'm just saying we don't play that in LA. So hopefully this was a learning experience.
And don't go to Detroit with that shit either. Don't come to Dallas and downtown with that shit either. I mean, we have to realize that there's places where that shit is gonna fly and it's not gonna go through. It ain't gonna work out for you. I don't know who his person that's telling him where to go. It sure as hell is not downtown LA. Okay. So Tariq Nasheed had a whole debate with Jake Lang. And let's hear some of the rhetoric that he really is really pushing. Let's go.
For the blacks and the Indians, so they won't come and slit our damn throats. We'll let them know, hey man, we have something in common. So we're brothers. So we need you to keep your eye on the blacks, and we'll kick you down some of these funds if you act right. We'll give you some of the spoils of war. If you tell the poorest white man that he's richer or he's better off or he's better than the richest black man, that white man will let you empty his pockets, which is true. And that's what they've been doing. They promote this illusion of shared whiteness. And the white elites, they'll create an illusion that all white people, regardless of class, we're all on the same team. We got a racial kinship. See, and that masks the reality that the vast wealth gap between the elite whites and the poor whites is huge. So instead of you getting with black workers against economic injustice, working class whites, they defend the white system that excludes your dumbass economically. You see? They'll sit up here and go along with the program while you living in a trailer park eating jelly sandwiches, talking about, we showing those Negroes. And you live in worse.
We showing those Negroes.
That's why they get the white supremacists call up here all the time, pocket watching us. The first thing they see, how much money you guys have. Look at all the money you make. Oh my God. Because then you realize all of your racism, you ain't got no money. But we do understand your whiteness has monetary value. But that's like a get out of jail free card. And that's the little thing that they give you. They're like, yeah, we're not going to give you any big tangibles. We're not going to give you what we got. You're not going to get the yachts and then the mansions and the trips and all that. No, you're going to stay on your trailer. But we got a little insurance policy for you. If you get in trouble, we ain't going to let you go to jail. So yeah, you can rape the little people in your neighborhood. You can smoke your meth and all of that. And we'll just turn a blind eye. You're not going to be.
You know what? When I look at this picture of him, he actually does look like he is from the Middle East. So it's crazy. Who hired him, bro? Who is hiring this guy? Let me get to the point where he gets to be on the show. Let's go.
Speaking of the people pardoned for January 6th, what's up, Jake? Mr. Jake, what's going on, Jake? Oh, Jake? Jake, hop on in, Jake. All right. Jake, can you hear me? I can hear
you. That you were asking me to.
What's going on, Jake?
God bless all that are listening tonight. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. What's going on with you, Jake?
Tarek, forgive my ignorance. Are you the same Tarek that is the PR stuntman for Austin Metcalf's family?
No.
Okay. I thought we were gonna have a much crazier debate that you were asking, or conversation that you were asking.
He doesn't even know who he's talking to. He don't know Dominic. See, this tells you right here that he don't even one black guy, the same black guy. He don't even know. He's up here talking to Tariq Nasheed, that's from LA, and he's mistaken him for Dominic Miller from Texas. So he's just, somebody is funding this guy and they're sending him to different places. Because how in the hell do you get online and don't know the difference between Dominic Miller and Tariq Nasheed? He don't even know who the fuck he's talking to. This guy is an agent. Somebody is sending him to these places. Whoever got this money, I think it might be the government. He might be a CIA operative. There's something going on. Because how in the hell do you get on Tariq Nasheed and not know that he is not the person behind Carmelo Anthony? I mean, hello, SEC, people are just talking about what's happening today. I'm like, okay, I had to go back into the archives, into the interviews he's doing, and let's figure out who this guy really is. Because I'm like, who is this fucker that's able to get out of prison everywhere or jail everywhere he goes? Now, any black person doing this shit would have just been locked up. That you can't just go state to state. Honey, I know motherfuckers that like get a weed charge and gotta watch out. This guy is inciting terrorism and all kind of like stuff, riotous behavior and this, that, the other, getting kicked out of cities, and he is still being able to continue and has the money to continue with, has a LED on the back of trucks. Who is funding this guy? Who is funding him? See, and everybody want to say he's trolling. See, that's the way to dismiss something that's really significant. And he's trolling. No, this is way more than trolling. Whenever you get to people in real life, you can't say I'm trolling, honey. Whenever you're in a crowd of people that can whoop your ass, trolling goes out the window. Trolling is an online thing. He's in public. This is not listen, when shit like this is going down, that's not trolling. Where's the troll? Where's the trolling at? At what point is trolling? See, trolling is online. Okay, you can say whatever you want to say, blah blah blah, and create mayhem on a YouTube video or somebody going live. People troll me all the time. This right here is, see, here's the thing: is that people are just so like just online. They have no idea the difference between a real conflict and what's going on online because they're watching it online and they're not connecting to what's really happening. No, this is a real life conflict. This guy is inciting violence in the community. All right. And he got fucked up in that situation. Now imagine if the police would have had to come out, he started a whole riot. Now is that still trolling? Trolling is not, this is not fucking trolling, bro. I need to look up what is the definition. Somebody give me the definition of trolling while I play this. How did they get megaphones too? Did they take it from them, or was this like a stage thing? Because how did the other side have megaphones? I mean, if you go onto the BET, or well, maybe they had them because something's up with this. Why would he have opposition with megaphones to like say what's going on? No, a funded troll. What is it? What is a funded troll? See, people are getting, listen, when it goes into real life, troll is no, listen, if I come to your house and I get to fucking with your fucking house and messing with your fucking windows and busting them out. Am I a troll at this point? No. People need to like take that online shit and understand that once it becomes in real life, it's no longer online. All that online descriptions of things goes out the window. That's not trolling. That's real life. See, y'all need to like, come on, you guys are. I feel sorry for this new generation, honey. I'm from Generation X. Y'all are so fucking hell bent on like what's going on online that y'all don't even understand what's really happening in life. At this point, when people are whipping your ass, that's not trolling. Did they troll whipping his ass? Was it troll blood running down his damn head trolling? No, he was really getting his ass whooped. Big difference between trolling and actually being in a combative situation with real people in real life. That's not fucking trolling. When you shoot somebody in the front of a goddamn courthouse, that's no longer trolling. That's why Chud the Builder's in jail right now. $1 million bond, can't get out. That's not troll. Is he in troll jail right now? Is he in troll jail, can't get out? Is it a troll judge? Y'all people need to wake up. All y'all little youngins that really think there's such thing as like trolling in real life. No, it's not really trolling. This is real life. It's not on the internet. You can get into my chat room and say whatever the fuck you want. But once that shit goes into real life and you come to me and you talk, you will listen. It won't be a troll bullet hit you at. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a troll. You know what I'm saying? To knock you off when you get knocked off, you going to troll heaven? No. Y'all need to like wake up to the reality, man. You guys are so fucking just hell bent and so stuck on the internet. Y'all don't understand that when this shit's happening in real life, it's no longer trolling. This is real life. You're really fucking with people. You're really getting people. People will really fuck you up in real life. They're not gonna troll fuck you up. They're gonna fuck you the fuck up. And you see all this stuff going on. That's not troll. They're not troll whooping his ass. They're not troll doing whatever to him. They really doing it. So so I looked up. Okay, online trolls operate with varying degrees of anonymity. The distance of a screen creates an illusion of safety, meaning they can rarely face immediate physical or social repercussions. In-person, so-called trolling face-to-face carries immediate real-world consequences such as social ostracization, reputational damage, or physical retaliation. Okay? Online, a single provocative comment or meme can be broadcast to thousands of people. Platforms reward this behavior with algorithmic visibility, likes, and comments. In-person harassment is called harassment. Right? Is usually confined to the immediate physical space, limiting the audience and how much the so-called troll can feed on the crowd reaction. Online trolls often interact with usernames or avatars instead of real human faces. This disassociation makes it easy to forget there's a feeling person on the other end, lowering empathy. In person, seeing the target's facial expressions, body language, and emotional distress naturally triggers human empathy, making it much harder to be cruel for those who are socially adjusted. So all this whole thing that they call trolling is really a person that's maladapted in the social environment. Let's get back to this.
asking me to come up
Okay.
after my recent protest out there.
Yeah,
in support of
but I'm very supportive of our brother Carmelo. I'm very supportive of him for self-defense. But you were the one out there with the protest. You had the was it the White Lives Matter protest or something, right?
We hosted a Protect White Americans rally in support of the egregious interracial violence that's being perpetrated on white people in this country.
Really? Now, where is this violence happening, and where is it being perpetrated? Who's harming white people systematically?
So there are 41-to-1 interracial violent episodes between blacks to whites as compared to whites on blacks. And I just noticed
we know that's inaccurate. You know why? Because white law enforcement agencies rarely report those crimes where white people are harming black people, and we see videos every day. Those are not even reported by the police. Even the hundreds of videos we see daily where white people are trying to terrorize, harm children, harm black people, assault, most of those are not even reported to law enforcement, and then when law enforcement sees it, they don't even report that to the federal authorities. So let's put everything in context when you say that. Now, black people, everything we do is reported. So go ahead.
It's an interesting concept, and I want to talk about that on two different fronts. First, the echo chamber that Twitter is pushing on both what's called white Twitter and black Twitter. It's very interesting because when I turn on my Twitter app, I see endless videos of black on white violence and also black on black violence, but like on like a very ghetto level, like kind of like people freaking out at.
That's because that's all you watch. Anyone that knows about what happens in the algorithm is that whatever you watch, you get more of. The more you watch it, you get more of it. And I don't think that that's fucking stupid to think that this is really a thing that's really going on. It's because you keep watching it and you're getting more, and they're going to send you more of what you're paying attention to. During the Carmelo Anthony trial, my whole timeline was flooded with Carmelo Anthony. They know what to send your stupid ass. That's exactly what it is. You're talking about this stuff. They're listening to you on the phone, you're texting about it. They're doing all this. You're on Twitter looking up videos about it, watching them for a certain amount of time, and therefore the algorithm give you more of what you want. So whatever he's saying, all he's doing is because, and I feel bad. Maybe he is neurodivergent. He don't understand that these algorithms feed into whatever your psychosis is. Let's go.
The airport and like 30 black people start beating each other up or in a cafeteria. Right. And so it's very interesting that, you see that your Twitter algorithm feeds you the complete opposite of what it feeds me. So we have to be cognizant of that.
Right. And then the thing is, you have more white supremacists who cherry pick and curate that content. That's literally all they do on Reddit. That's all they do on 4chan. Black people generally don't sit around trying to cherry pick instances of violence like that. So there's a whole cottage industry and a culture of white supremacists doing what I call black trauma porn. They literally get off on watching any type of criminal or degenerate or violent instances involving a black person, especially when a black person is victimized, or even if they're victimized by another black person. So that's a part of white supremacist culture, black trauma porn. They get off on it. So that has nothing to do with it.
You're entitled to that opinion. I think that it's an expansion of a freedom of speech that we weren't entitled to speak about, share these videos, look at this type of content in the past without fear of being basically ostracized from our jobs, our communities. You know, we have now a tool here on Twitter because it's
Who was stopping you from watching the videos? They were all over World Star Hip Hop. World Star Hip Hop was the first website that would show all this type of fights and everything like this. Nobody's stopping you from watching that. Who's saying, oh man, you're white, you can't watch World Star Hip Hop, where all that fight bullshit will start to that? You understand what I'm saying? Like, this guy is delusional.
Freedom of speech platform to be able to talk about the systemic issues of the violent black hip hop culture and the thug or the hoodlum culture that is now spinning out of control.
Okay, let me ask you this, Jake. When have white supremacist society not been able to talk about black people and how violent and degenerate we are? Y'all always talked about that. When have you not been able to talk about that?
I would say the last 40 years in America, maybe even back from like the 80s until the 2020s, it basically became taboo. And anybody that spoke against DEI or affirmative action or violent black culture would then get ostracized. They would get doxxed. It would be considered that they would automatically be branded with the racist card, and they wouldn't be able to hold a job, a position, public office and whatnot. And we've kind of broken through that echo chamber and now are able to have our side of the story, our opinion as white people in America. That, and by the way, I wanted to go back to the race numbers as far as interracial violence. So one thing is being in federal prison for 4 years and 6 days as a January 6th political prisoner, which I just got pardoned by President Trump. I noticed amongst the black inmates, a lot of them were miscategorized, and the mixed inmates, ones that had a black parent and a white parent, or ones that had a white parent and a Spanish parent, were all categorized. There was a huge amount of them categorized as white on their paperwork, and you would look at them and clearly say, this is not a white person. So I actually, in my own experiences, I've seen it the opposite, that it's not.
Sir, you're not a white person. You're fucking Middle East. You're a mixture of maybe he is, but he's Jewish, isn't it? Is that white? I don't know. Someone tell me in the chat, is a Jewish person white? Or are they considered like Asian and a little bit of, I don't know. What is a Jewish person? Like Jake Lang. Is he a white guy?
White on black violence, or the other way that it is being underreported, as you've claimed. It's actually, in my experience, that they've actually started to kind of over-report other races as being white.
And that's
my personal experience.
And that's the amazing thing of white supremacy. Even the white people who are in jail ain't even white. They're still black. That shows the privilege of white supremacy, sir. And you just proved that. Also, let's back up. You said in the last.
No, I'm not saying that they categorize black people as being white.
That's how much privilege you got. Even the white people that's in jail ain't even white. That's how much of a privilege you have, sir. Sir, you did something that black people couldn't do in a million years. You're sitting up on Twitter talking to me. You stormed the Capitol. You got Black Panthers in prison from the 1960s talking about doing what you did. This is white supremacy and white privilege. White privilege comes with
Trump pardoned many black people as well. There were, my friend Cash Kelly, my friend Daryl Neely, my friend.
Sir, but did they pardon the Black Panthers? No, they didn't. And the Black Panthers didn't storm a goddamn thing. So cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Well, now he gonna talk about his black friends, a few of his little black people. That was a part of what he was doing.
What's his name? We called him the Colonel.
Yeah, not for storming no damn. Not from.
No. Of course.
They
January 6ers.
January 6ers. Yeah, they pardon people for like having weed or some shit.
No. I'm talking about Black January 6ers. I know about maybe a dozen of them, plus other races as well too that weren't white that Donald Trump pardoned. As well, so these are real life conservative patriots that I would lay down my life for in an instant.
Fact that black people generally
Philip Anderson,
right? That black people can't do what, and these people don't really identify as black. Like Enrique Tarrio, y'all try to say he's black. He's
Cuban.
Right.
He's not. I didn't even mention his name. Honestly, I mentioned other people that do identify as black, that are black. That some of them come from some pretty rough backgrounds as well.
No, most of them Caribbean, by the way. Some of those people you name, they come from Caribbean backgrounds. They don't come from foundational Black American culture. But again, something you said that I
didn't name any Caribbeans. I named African Americans that were pardoned by Trump for being patriots.
No, but those people you named, some of those folks, from my studies, they don't come from our lineage. They come from Caribbean backgrounds. Some of those people, they are technically African American, but they're not foundational Black American, meaning their lineage doesn't go back to slavery in this country.
That honestly sounds pretty racist, like black on black racism. And one of my friends.
No.
Well, I have a very close friend of mine, and everybody on here. I know. I'm about to
get into some anecdotal thing. Now, how is our lineage racist? I have a lineage.
Well, no, I'm saying. So first of all, I have a very close friend. Everybody knows him on here. His name's Dom Luker. He's a 1.5 million on X, very smart individual, and me and him have long talks on this. And actually, there's like this split in the black community about like what you said, ancestral or anecdotal, or people from I guess 400 years or plus more here, plus other people that are kind of coming in on the phrase of things, and there's like a split between like who's the realest black man in the room. So I don't know. You guys got to deal with that in your own community.
No. We don't talk like who's the realest black. No. That's white supremacists. Filtering. That's not. No, we didn't say nothing like that.
I mean, you're the one putting them down. You're the one saying that they're not as black as I am.
Didn't say nothing like that. We're not going to do on white not say so. We don't do that. Don't do that. We don't do on white. I didn't say anything remotely like that.
Well, so what is their credentials? They have the same skin color, melanin. They've been through hardships as well. According to your point of views, why are they less, connected to the roots, or you know, I don't understand where the internal racism comes from.
There is none,
you
because
know?
there is none. That's why you don't understand.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were putting them down as like a lesser party, not
I
me.
didn't say that.
You're saying those people aren't
I
ancestral
didn't say that
blacks.
they were lesser. Just because you're an immigrant doesn't mean you're less or anything. You're just an immigrant. I'm not.
Well, why would their
I'm
time in
not-
prison or what they
I'm
went
not
through?
we have different lineages, and that's okay. That's not even good or bad. You're the one.
Well, you're saying
you're
they're
the
not
sir,
real blacks. They're
okay,
Caribbean.
okay. But Jake, we don't do that, Jake. All right, you're gonna have to slow down. I know you're emboldened by being pardoned and all that stuff, but yeah, we don't do that. You got to slow down because you're talking over me. I don't like muting people, but you got to slow that down because now, yeah, it can be interpreted as disrespect. I can speak for myself, Jake. I don't need you to put words in my mouth. We don't do that. We don't do I'm white and I say so, because you're trying to practice white supremacy right now and doing I'm white and I say so, telling me I said something that I didn't say. That's you practicing white supremacy. That's the same thing as George Floyd died of fentanyl. It's just saying shit.
Well, I mean, there's statistical data that goes along with that as far as the coroner's report
Which
does.
is not
But
true.
the question
Which is
before
not
we
true.
get
But
into
hold on,
process,
no, let me finish what I'm saying. I have a lineage that's unique from Caribbeans and continental Africans. That's not good, bad, right, or wrong. That's not bad or worse. I'm not an immigrant. I don't have an immigrant background. And people from immigrant backgrounds, a lot of times they're going to have a different outlook on certain things and certain parts of the culture than we do. And that's okay. You have a lot of people who are Caribbean or come from Caribbean backgrounds who don't look at white supremacists the same way as foundational Black Americans. That's why they will align with some of you white supremacists, and we won't. That's why you guys can get the Enriques and all of these people, because over in their homelands that you guys basically, your fellow white supremacists have decimated, you psychologically broke them, but you haven't psychologically broken us. So we don't do the one big Negro narrative. I'm saying that. Another thing I wanted to clear up that you said, you were like, yeah, we, in the last 40 years, you haven't been able to speak about Black thugs and all of this. Sir, y'all have never not talked about Black people and denigrated us. You've always denigrated us. In your movies, your media landscape, it's nothing but Black stereotypes. Even in your reality shows, Cops, First 48, everything is about Black thug imagery. Ronald Reagan in the 70s, he was promoting the whole welfare queen narrative. The Clintons in the 90s, they were pushing the thug criminal crime bill narrative.
Do you think that he is just too young to really understand what's really going on in the Black community and how it affects? Like you know what I'm saying? He's young. He's about like in his early, 30s. He probably haven't been around when a lot of stuff was going on. So in his mind, he thinks he's right. I'm trying to empathize with this guy to understand where he's coming from. I don't understand.
So you've always...
Is there not some merit though there as far as statistical data goes?
No,
like
because
why does the before I get muted again, please. Why does the NCVS, the National Crime Victim Survey, which is a survey done by the FBI, talking and asking the victims, if you go on my website, Protect White Americans US, pwaus.com, I have a number of different statistics there. And they're from the National Crime Victim Survey talking about egregious Black crimes just in general, but that's not what I focus on. Well, so wait. So
did you hear what I just said? There is no such thing as Black crime. What the hell is Black crime?
Crimes that inordinately Black people are committing, such as murder and assault and robbery.
Y'all do more than nobody
outside of their per capita.
Nobody murders more than white supremacists.
That's not what the statistical data says,
Based
brother.
on
just simply
the white supremacists.
Based on the National Crime Victim Survey.
The white supremacists, your community carry out whole genocides.
I'm just looking at the statistical data.
Looking at history, sir.
There's 53% of murders in this country happen from a mere 6% of the population, which is Black males. That is an inordinate. That is a 10-to-1 inordinate imbalance in the community. And I'm here not as a white supremacist. I'm here as a noticer of statistics, as a man that loves the culture that I'm from, my own people, and saying, hey, why is the Black culture being perverted to brainwash the Black youth into wanting to hurt, murder, and steal from people? And I want to create a cultural integration.
So that's a projection, sir. What you're doing is projecting talking points. You're projecting your culture. You guys, your white supremacist community, you commit the most murders. Raw numbers. You not only commit the most murders, your violence is so normalized, it doesn't even get classified as murder. You get to be so violent, and your violence is flipped into self-defense. Because white victimhood has always been the justification for your innate violence. So you guys can go out and kill people and it doesn't even get listed as murder. Like white Hispanic George Zimmerman, damn near every white cop, Kyle Rittenhouse, they're not listed as murderers. This is your culture, sir. We get over police, you get under police. So those crime stats, you have to put them in the real context. You're not really classified as murderers when you kill. You get a green light to kill. That's how degenerate your culture is. Are you really at liberty to point fingers at Black people when you have a degenerate culture where your crimes have been normalized? Like your rapes. Y'all were allowed to just rape people all willy-nilly and not even be punished.
I mean, are you talking about modern day stuff? Or you're talking
I'm
about
talking just
when the white slave owners
general.
would rape their
Nothing has changed since slavery,
cattle.
sir. Nothing has changed since
Yes,
slavery. Nothing has changed.
Man, why? Listen, and I went to his website. Went to his website. And you know what's so funny about his website? Hold on, let me just do this. Let me take this down. Let me just take this image down. I went to his website, okay? We need to address Black violence on white Americans. Join PWA for a peaceful protest in Frisco. That's where he got arrested at. Oh, no, that was on Saturday, April 19th, 11 a.m., right? So he's in 2019, 26. He went all the way back to 2019. 26.6 of rape arrests were of Black individuals, despite Black people being only 13% of the population. In 2002, NCVS report noted that robberies with white victims and Black offenders were 12 times more common than the reverse. So what he did was he found a bunch of like rhetoric, and then who created this website? We're in 2026, bro. You're talking about 2002. In 2002, that's like 24 years ago. In 2002, that's 24 years ago. Like, do you see like this rhetoric they're putting out, and then people will read this and they don't even think they're not smart enough to like actually say, okay, well, hold on, you know, it's 2026. Where's the 2026 statistics? Okay. 2022 report. 100,000 robberies were committed by Blacks, over 52.7%. Based on what? 52%, over 52.7% of what? Of all robberies in the whole world, or in what? Where? 9.468 murder arrests, 51.3% were Black. Based on what? So what they do is they get they love. Listen, it's the same thing with the red pill community. All the statistics they come up with, people come up with all these statistics about how things are going. You know, well, according to when it comes down to women, 100% of women leave their spouses, whatever the hell, and then they like make they make a whole thing about this, willing to die on the hill of it. But it's interesting. Learn more, honey. Twitter account deleted. Account don't even exist. The account don't even exist. You know what I'm saying? What's that all about? You know? Let's continue this.
Human rights, the civil rights movement.
Nothing has changed since Jim Crow.
You now remember that when everybody got
foundational Black Americans forcing you to act like you had some damn sense. Yes, I remember the civil rights movement. We had to force you to act like you had some sense, and we had to get off in your ass and let you know these lynchings and rapes, that's not going to be happening like you think. So we were fighting
Actually
back.
The complete opposite. It was done peacefully. Nobody got quote unquote got up in. I'm not even going to curse at this time.
Nobody did what?
It actually was done through peaceful civic action from a real Christian leader, Martin Luther King.
Yeah. That's one part of it. No, it wasn't. There was violence.
Come on.
So, what you mean,
oh man.
Why did you think they had the Kerner Commission?
Slow
down. Why did they have to have the Kerner Commission to ask why there were so many race riots and Black people were whooping your asses all through the 60s?
so the civil rights movement didn't have any violence. I mean, you might just think that these are water hoses, but if you take a full powered fucking hose that's meant to put out a fire in a building and turn it against a person, how violent is that? That's almost like taking a damn thing washer that cleans a building and putting it on somebody's skin. How violent is it to take a water hose that's meant to put out a fire and turn it on people? And this was the actual fire department doing this to the black people. And then the damn water was so strong, it was making people like skid across the ground. It was shooting the water out so hard, people were flying through the air and down the street. What are you talking about? There was no violence. I mean, I don't know what country this guy grew up in. He might not be from America. Like, what are you talking about?
That's why they had to have a whole commission to study why we were whooping your ass up and down the United States, sir.
Please don't normalize muting me while I'm in the middle.
But but we're gonna speak truth to power. You don't get to just.
Yeah, we are.
I came in here. You said it was
okay, but I want to address something. I did come in here to address black on white violence, and then you just glorified the fact that in the 60s black people had to be violent or whatnot
because you were being violent towards us. We had the peaceful, nonviolent sector that was a part of the media apparatus, but behind the scenes, black people were turning up and getting the bullshit up out of here.
But I'm gonna tell you this is that there was so imagine, okay, so you did have people that was willing to whoop somebody's ass, but I'm gonna tell you what about people turning fire hoses on peaceful protesters, children, women, families? Of course, we had like that wing of people that was like a Jake Lang that probably is willing to like do this, but I don't even know if he's really willing to do anything but run his mouth. But you did have those faction of people that was like, you know what? By any means necessary, get it how you live, whatever. If you do something to me, I'm gonna do something to you. That's where the Black Panthers came into effect. That's where a lot of like the Nation of Islam was saying, hey, listen, by any means, listen, I'm not playing with you. But you had a lot of peaceful protesters that were just like boycotting and marching that got like hoses turned on them, full blood. I mean, building hoses that like the fire department would use. They don't even do that shit now. When you see Antifa protests, where are the fire hoses? At most, they'll throw out some little flashbang bombs and like some damn, smoke bombs, whatever. But listen, I want to see some fire hoses to push these motherfuckers down the street like they did with us. Straight up, you want to like really see some real crazy how this government could be, honey? Go get the fire department and let them unleash a fucking hose, honey. They be suing fire departments all across America. Let that shit hit them. But this guy is delusional. These young kids don't have no idea.
So yes, you had to be forced to act right, sir, because of your violence, because of your raping, because of your lynching, sir. And now you've basically pawned the lynching off to law enforcement. Now you're trying to get your vigilantes to do the lynchings and things for you, and people are pushing back from that. So the real degeneracy is in white supremacist culture, right?
I can definitely not say that. I'm seeing a man that is glorifying violence, and compared to a man here who has actually committed political violence as far as in self-defense of my country. Yes. And I'm not here glorifying it.
Everything that white supremacists do, it's all self-defense. Every act.
Well, no, I mean there's a Second Amendment. There's a Second Amendment to attack tyranny. But
that's how white supremacy works. Everything is self-defense. The white supremacists, because you feel like your birth rates are so low that you're not going to survive. Everything is about survival, and everything you do, violence, rape, murder, mayhem, thievery, is all under the guise of self-defense. That's a degenerate culture to have, sir, right? I'm
muted, so I can't answer you. You're normalizing muting.
I hear you, sir. We hear you. We hear you.
So I just don't see what you're seeing in white culture. When I hear white culture, right, as a white man who grew up in white suburbia about 2 hours north of New York City, I grew up with soccer moms. I grew up with four-wheel riding, fishing. I grew up with Second Amendment respect, meaning that
if you grew up with all that, why are you causing mayhem on the streets anyway? Like, what is the problem? Like why not continue that thing and raise your family. You grew up with soccer moms, you grew up with this, you grew up with that, but then you were like come into like downtown LA and try to start a riot. Like, why aren't you with your family and becoming and raising your family to be whatever in like this suburban area? So you're saying what you grew up with, but then you want to wreak havoc everywhere else. It's crazy.
Guns were not willy-nilly, handled. They were we had to respect them. I grew up in a culture that didn't curse at people. We loved each other and we tried to take care of our community. And then when I look at inner city.
Can I also say that like all that shit is bullshit? Do you know that these people, the white people didn't curse at people? Honey, listen. Shut up with that, that the white people, they wasn't cursing. They were just over here like a bunch of pilgrims and stuff walking just over there, like milking cows and drinking like whole milk out the cows thing. And they wasn't doing nothing to nobody until these niggas came around. If you don't get the hell out of here.
Communities of predominantly black people. I see the project housing. We can get into systemic issues, but I see from the outside looking in, and in which I also moved into Spanish Harlem. I lived in Spanish Harlem. I sold hats on the street in Spanish Harlem, which was predominantly black, but it's still called Spanish Harlem. And I had a hat company called Harlem Pusher. I was part of that community, but I saw, in my point of view, a degenerate culture that glorified hip hop, fast money, prostitution, ball players, drug dealers, gun toters, and things of that nature.
Sir, white supremacist culture glorifies the Italian mafia, the Jewish mafia, drug dealers, Irish mafia, drug dealers, gun runners. Your community glorifies violence. It's always glorified violence and criminality, sir. You're not going to sit here and point your finger at us talking about we glorify violence. Everything about your culture is violence, sir. You glorify violence and genocide, racial terrorism. You guys made movies. Some of your first blockbuster movies were about the Klan, Birth of a Nation, a violent terrorist organization, sir. They were your heroes. You're talking about we worship degeneracy? And if we're going to talk about hip hop, 80% of hip hop music is purchased by white people. When you go to Coachella and look at these big concerts with black artists and rappers, look at the audience. That's your community in the audience, sir.
Thank you. Hello, bingo. Who was that? What's the thing when they had that whole stampede that happened? It was mostly white in Austin, Texas. So why, like, what is he talking about? Like, okay, the black people are like glorified. No, but the white people are buying the music and they're going to the concerts, spending money on the concerts. What are we talking about here? This guy is delusional.
Well, there's a difference between consuming a piece of content, let's say, for example, watching The Godfather, like growing up as a white kid in suburbia, watching The Godfather, but then having the actual culture act out and live upon those principles that we see in, Hollywood movies. I just don't see the white American culture living out the principles of hip hop, living out the principles of Godfather Mafioso. I don't see either. I see.
Slow down. Yeah, that stuff was based on real stories. That wasn't really fiction. Some of the mafia movies, Casino, Goodfellas, these are based on real people, sir. You guys glorify the Sopranos and all of that because that's a part of your culture, sir. During the Great Depression in the 1930s, in white supremacist society, there was a major crime wave of white criminals who you guys glorify to this day. You glorify Bonnie and Clyde. You glorify Dillinger. You glorify Babyface Nelson. You glorify all of those 1930s gangsters that were running around killing and robbing banks. These people are icons in your community to this day, sir.
And on top of that, didn't they glorify, like all that glorifying of Scarface and this, that, the other? Who made the movie of all these things? These are white people making these movies about Scarface, and it wasn't black people making this movie glorifying this. It was white people making it. It was not black folks making. We made one movie glorifying some gangster shit, but we had a thing at the end of it where the guy died, and then people right now are talking about the saxophones, about how the guy And then the guy was a football star and passed away because somebody like shot him, whatever. And there was a whole crying moment where this he had so much promise. But where was the promise in the gangster movies of the past that the white folks put out? At least when the black folks put out, it was a blessing.
So you're talking about us glorifying violence? Really? Really? We don't, black society, listen, we don't really glorify murderers in our society.
But the first thing that you said when I got on,
slow down. Who are the murderers that
Carmelo Anthony?
Yes, Scarface. Who wrote the movie Scarface and filmed it? It was a white guy. So he's telling us we glorified it, but who made it? Who made Scarface? Who made these movies glorifying the gangsters and of the Italian mafia and all these different things? Who glorifies that? Who is the one who creates these movies? We not doing that. We made Black Panther. You had like whatever, make Black Panther. We ain't doing that. We're not glorifying that. Spike Lee, whenever he did like Do the Right Thing, this, that, the other, like, okay, listen to the title. Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing. Okay? And it ended with Radio Raheem getting killed in the whole community, and it was terrible. And everybody, honey, I was crying too when Radio Raheem died. I still get choked up a little bit right about that now. But what about like the other, all these movies about violence? But he want to say that we're glorifying violence when you have a whole thing called action and horror movies and all this stuff that are made by white people that glorify killing, maiming, murdering. I mean, some of these horror movies are just awful. Jason, Halloween, all these things. Serial killers that are just killing people for no fucking reason. Motherfuckers are going out to the camp, and somebody with a goddamn hockey mask for some reason wants to kill all the white girls. What's up with that? What's the glorification of that? What is that? And so y'all got serial killers. So is this movie glorifying serial killing?
For one, to start, because you said
no. That's real self-defense, sir. That was an honor student who was a clean-cut kid from a good family defending himself. He wasn't a degenerate criminal like the people in your community, sir. So what are you talking about?
Well, so
who are the murderers that we glorify?
There are many.
Name them, sir.
I want to talk about Carmelo Anthony.
I just named the murderers in your community that you guys glorify and make heroes into. Not only that, every hero in white supremacist society is a degenerate. You can't find a hero that's not a degenerate, sir. And you talk about our culture? Look at white supremacist culture. Who are your heroes? Name one of your heroes who's not a degenerate murderer, rapist, slave owner, or dickhead. You name them, sir. Just name one.
First, let me talk to the first question you asked me as far as who is being glorified in the black hip hop community or the black community, which has been usurped by the hip hop part of it. You have Cardi B, who openly brags about drugging and attacking.
Cardi B is a Caribbean. She's not of our culture. That's somebody. She's a Caribbean, sir. That's not our culture. You're proving my point, sir. You're proving my point.
Okay.
Cardi B is definitely Dominican. That's a Caribbean island. And let me also say, okay, so let's do one for one. You say Cardi B, all right? Lady Gaga.
So let's move on from there to Curtis Jackson.
Who?
Curtis Jackson. 50 Cent. Okay.
Curtis Jackson, who's a businessman?
The drug dealer, the man who shot up everybody. He's the underdog. Hate it or love it, the underdog's on top. And he's going to shine, homie, until his heart stops.
Who did
Robert Downey Jr.
50 Cent shoot?
He has bragged about shooting and stealing and robbing in every one of his rap songs, and God knows how many felonies he's committed in his life.
If he shot somebody, he would be in jail for shooting somebody, sir.
No, he would probably be put on the back of a football jersey and paraded around.
Well, who's doing that?
So everybody's saying this new thing about this, that the black people just don't have we just get like pardoned. Nobody gives, we just get like so much, they're teaching these young white people that we just don't have no accountability. We don't get fucked up if we do something wrong. And in reality, it's the other way around. This is gaslighting and breadcrumbing at its finest, y'all.
Doing that. We don't glorify murderers in our community.
Yes, you do. And Carmelo Anthony is one of those people.
He's not a murderer. That's self-defense.
No.
And
It's
he
not. So
wasn't assaulting them.
self-defense in
It is
the legal
self-defense. That's
termination.
self-defense,
First of all, you
sir.
have to meet force
That
with
is self.
force.
That's
You
self-defense, sir.
can't
Yes, he did.
use
He
a
did.
knife in a fist
Yes,
fight,
yes, he can.
and
Yes,
you
you
can't
can.
use a
Yes, you
gun in a
can.
knife fight.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's all I might not say so. Yes, you can. Let me get.
That's
Hold on. Let me get my brother Robbie in here to chime in. Brother Robbie, hop on in, sir.
Brother Tariq, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
How you doing, brother? You know, it's amazing that it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
You can
And
acknowledge me, Robbie, and say good evening to me as well, brother. God bless you. How are you?
no, I'm not acknowledging you yet, my brother in Christ. Not just yet. So you can stay on your mic. Don't be hostile. You know, I find it interesting that you're talking about degenerates. And I wanted to ask this gentleman a couple of questions. One, did he find it degenerate to go to January 6th, where the Capitol is something that is secular, sacred, and people just went there and just totally desecrated it and then lied about it on national TV for over 2 hours? That's number one. Number two, he just stated that he came from upstate New York, and you have a lot of white folks that live in predominantly white communities. So I don't understand this obsession about a black boogeyman that doesn't exist and doesn't even live around them. And then lastly, if you're concerned about wife birth rates, why are you here on Black Daddy Space at 2 o'clock in the morning instead of attending your blow up doll? And I'll land my plane.
Thank you, brother.
I didn't mention anything about white birth rates, so I'm going to go backwards because it's easier to address that. And I attend very well. Thank God. I was a club promoter for 7 years, and that was a degenerate thing before I found Jesus Christ. But I've attended. I've definitely attended, probably way too much, God forbid. So let's digress from there. We're all here in the middle of the night when we could be attending. So don't point fingers when you're also here at the same hour as me.
Right.
Anyway,
but my thing is this:
well, let me go backwards through the question so I can at least address that. January 6th to me was a peaceful protest, and that was escalated by. And so, first of all, this is a huge bisection, and we've actually joined. We've joined hands with some Black Lives Matter leaders like Mark Fisher, from the founder of the Black Lives Matter Rhode Island chapter, because January 6th was a mass police brutality event. And we know that inside both of our communities, that is a huge hot button issue. And we've actually been able to lock hands with different members of Black.
Yeah, y'all only try to say it's police brutality because a black officer had to put some hot rocks up in some of your folks. So now it's police brutality. No. Oh, no. Michael Byrd had to do what he had to do, didn't he?
No, I mean, she was a 5'2" woman with American flag wrapped around her. Why would deadly force be
breaking in a Capitol? Yeah, y'all sat up here and folks died.
I mean, God forbid.
Listen, the fact that you talk about violence, the fact that y'all had a violent insurrection, a lot of people died that day. Shot, heart attacks, people died that day. And you guys get to get out of jail and walk around and pop your collar. And you want to talk about violence in the black community? You guys aren't listed as murderers. If black people stormed the Capitol and anybody died, they would all be listed as murderers. It would be an all-in law put on them. The murders would be put on them. You guys are walking around out here chilling on Twitter.
Black people did storm the Capitol. Dozens and dozens and dozens were arrested by brothers that I love very much.
No, dozens of, not dozens of black people. You had a handful of Sambos.
I can name you
a handful.
James D'Alesco Beeks.
Okay, slow down. You had a handful of Sambos out there with you guys, and some of them. And some of them got the strictest punishments, by the way. That's it. That's another thing that was very interesting. The black ones got some of the strictest.
That's complete fabrication.
That's not
my guy that was on my podcast today, James D'Alesco Beeks, was the only one acquitted from January 6th. He's black. He got acquitted in the DC courtroom. Do you want to know why? Yeah, I think you can answer that question, my friend. So don't make up. Yeah, but just don't fabricate stuff. You have no frame of reference to say that black people got the largest sentences, because that is completely false. It makes no sense. White people, by and large, got destroyed in the DC courtrooms by a majority black jurors.
No, they didn't.
Of course we did. I was looking at 30 plus years.
Were getting slaps on the wrist anyway. Half y'all were damn near out of jail anyway. The ones who did get convicted, y'all were getting slaps on the damn wrist for that. Y'all were getting the equivalent of a damn jaywalking ticket. Nobody did no real serious time anyway. The only one who was doing some serious time was Enrique. People like
so
that.
I'll give you that. We have David Dempsey, white man, 20 years sentenced to prison. Rufio, Ethan Nordine, 17 years. Joseph Biggs, 18 years. Dominic Pizzola, 10 years. Peter Schwartz, 14 and a half.
As they should. The fuck is he talking about? They stormed the Capitol building. Like, what do you say? He's up there crying about people that have gotten some years for storming the Capitol? As they should have gotten some years. And whoever got pardoned was probably like dropping a dime on everybody else.
Years. They were hitting us with that book. They were destroying us. You have to understand that. All white men given decades in prison for, they're not even injuries on these guys' indictments. They were literally trying to crush us. And they did, but God saw us worthy to bring us through that Red Sea and part that Red Sea and bring us out to the freedom. We were enchained by that Pharaoh, that DC leftist swamp, and we got out.
And it's interesting that a damn person that's actually a Jew would bring up Moses in this situation. Like there's somebody part of the Red Sea and he knows he's Jewish and he's talking about he's a white supremacist. If you don't get the fuck out of here, bro.
It was a blessing from the Lord, literally a miracle that you could all witness.
Okay, family, I want y'all to listen. Okay, everybody look this up. It was like over 1,000 people that got sentenced. All right, it was about 1,000, a little more than 1,000.
1,600 people were arrested for January 6th.
The average sentence for you guys was 2 years. Most of the sentences were like 120 days, like 4 months. Literally, these dudes were getting slaps on the wrist. Don't let this guy sit on the phone and lie. Yeah, now some of the notable, you named the notable ones, like, yeah, some of the guys who got Joseph, some of the guys who were organizing it, like Briggs, Biggs, and all of those guys, and Enrique, yes, they got larger numbers, but for the most part, these guys were getting literally jaywalking sentences.
Because they were literally jaywalking.
Yeah.
They literally went, 95% of the people that were charged from January 6th did not do anything but enter the Capitol and leave without touching an officer or touching anything, a piece of property in there. And so, of course, those people got lesser.
Right. It's called white privilege and white supremacy.
No, every single day.
Welsing, hop on Welsing. Let's get our sister Welsing. Oh, where'd she go? Well, Welsing, okay. I wanted to get our sister on here. She's a very thorough sister. I wanted to get her on here. But yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of white, and I say so, which is, I'm not shocked. It's nothing more than
Eric,
white, and I say so.
I'd love to say goodnight and say a short prayer over the audience, like 30 seconds. In the name of Jesus Christ, Lord God, bring healing to our communities, lift us up, make America one nation under you, Father, and please heal and restore all that's been broken in our lives and in our families. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Good night, Terry.
Then now you want to bring Jesus Christ into it. Child. Now you want to bring Jesus into it. He don't believe in Jesus. Because he wouldn't be pushing the... But you know what? A lot of like the Christians that are into like that white supremacy, they're the main ones that bring in God and Jesus into it. Honey, I had this funny ass meme where it was talking about how, you know, what MAGA thinks Jesus is going to look like when they get to the heavenly gates. It's like, I gotta find that meme. But I wanted to show you guys something that I think was really interesting. That as the most recent thing I just saw that I thought was really crazy. Check this out. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but they sued the city. They sued the city for paying back reparations to black folks. Check this out.
The DOJ just sued the city for paying black people back. Evanston, Illinois ran the only reparations program in America. $25,000 to black families who were redlined and locked into segregated housing for 50 years. The money came from local cannabis tax, not a single federal dollar. Over $7 million already paid out. So the Department of Justice called it race discrimination. The head of the Civil Rights Division, a division built to protect us, said paying black families back for stolen housing is unconstitutional. But here's what they won't say. In 1988, Ronald Reagan signed a law paying $20,000 to every Japanese American locked up during World War II. Over 80,000 people got checks. Nobody sued. Nobody called it discrimination. Reparations are fine unless they're for black people. That's the message. And every city watching just got it.
Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah. See if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the force and the power.